channel. Welcome to Outlaster. Now this segment is all about using your imagination, okay? So picture this. There's an island in the middle of an ocean that has miles and miles of ocean, which seems to be no person in sight. So there's only enough food for one person on this island. Question is, who will be the one? Better yet, who will be the Outlaster? Keep in mind, people who are not familiar with the show itself are going to have trouble following along. So this is just a warning for you guys. Francine Smith, the mother and the housewife of the group, she has been in over 250 underground fights, and most of them to the death. Yeah. And she's also been known to show that she can handle a weapon, as in one episode she took on Toshi's mom. Klaus Heisler, the pet of the family, on cocaine, could cut somebody's Achilles like nobody's business, was able to charge Steve like a bull in one episode, as he did, and actually scared Francine as well. And on top of it, he has tricked Roger and Steve in certain situations and certain occasions. One episode, he actually tricked them into getting a refund and waiting on the phone for days just to get the refund back to Greg and Terry's. On another episode, he was pranked by them and he threatened their life, and they got so scared that they stayed months in the attic just based on his own words. Haley Smith, the daughter and sister of the family. Don't forget, she was a sleeper agent. At one point, Stan actually activates her and has her pretty much being obedient until it actually goes horribly wrong. It backfires and she starts going after him. And believe it or not, she almost gets the job done. Actually, in some essence, she did get the job done. In another episode, she was able to land off a building completely unharmed, jumping off with just using her legs as a landing, and she survived thanks to good old-fashioned booze. Roger Smith, the alien/uncle of the family. On cocaine, he shows that he is laser focused. He took out a squad of armed men and managed to do it pretty quickly, actually. He can also switch his personas in a drop of a hat, and even could switch back and forth super quickly. He was able to dodge a moving bus. Roger has even shown to be able to regenerate a limb. In one episode, he cut his arm off just to show Klaus that Roger could escape and come back for his revenge. And he regenerated that limb, even if it came out a loopy. Steve Smith, the son and brother of the group. Now, Steve Smith was actually in a reenactment of the Vietnam War and managed to save his father from being captive by captors. So that's got to say something. On one episode, he really shows his smarts by outsmarting his father. His father was outbullying him, and he figured out a way to get back at him by hiring his old bully to take him down a peg, so that way he can get him to stop bullying him. Now, how clever was that? Stan Smith, father and husband of the group, has killed over 100 people, took on the Asian mafia, choked out Roger to death, and then brought him back to life, took out robbers using condiments and his own bodily fluids. And if that's not even enough, one time he took in a competition a bull's horn straight on through, and he pushed it through just to show how tough he was. Yeah. All right, now it's time to determine process of elimination. Who would be the Outlaster? Well, let's start off with first eliminating Klaus Heisler. First off, being trapped in a fish's body sucks, and it's not really going to really do much during a fight against regular sized humans with skills. So, bam, he's out of the competition. Steve, the next person to be eliminated out of the island. Now, let's get real. Smarts is very important, but he also isn't very athletic, not very skilled in anything else. And the Vietnam War was a long time ago. So, sorry to say, Steve gets kicked out of the island. Francine, bless her heart. Even though she's a master with weapons, there are no weapons here. Even though she's fought in 250 fights, there's not going to be enough against a sleeper agent and an actual CIA agent. I'm sorry to say that based on those two alone, she's going to get eliminated out of this competition or out of the island. Probably not as quickly, but she will be taken out of the island. And then moves on to my next person who would get kicked out of the island, which happens to be, you're going to not believe it, Stan Smith. Yeah, that's right. Now, how would that happen? Because he obviously is the more skilled fighter. You know, he would obviously be the toughest one to take out. Well, you forget about Roger's incredible speed. Speed's going to come into a factor into this, considering the fact that it's a superhuman speed. So even though Stan is tough and he does have skills, super speed against somebody with skills isn't really going to do much unless he has all the weapons and the gears, which he's not going to have at that time. So Roger, all he's got to do is just wait for his opportunity, maybe when Stan is kicking out Francine, to go from behind and then push him out of the island. And boom, now you got Stan out of the island. Now we have only 2 people left. Roger's incredible speed is troublesome in this fight and would be probably considered the better factor and the win to this, but unfortunately I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that Haley still has a good fighting chance. Now why would I say that? This is why. Roger and Haley have crossed paths before, and it's always been kind of an outwit with the two of them. At one episode, she was trying to pass a grade and everything like that, and Roger and her kept going back and forth when it came to personas until eventually he actually passes her, even though that's not what he wanted to do. He was tricked into it. Another episode, he was able to get Haley to graduate from college, but unfortunately that didn't happen because Haley tricked him into coming back, and he came back, and then Haley got to stay in college. So because of Haley's ability to outsmart, plus the fact that she was a sleeper agent, knowing that she has some skills in her, this is going to come in handy, but she's not going to need the skills. All she's going to need to do is play on Roger's arrogance. Now, Roger has an ego, so much so that if Haley just decided to get him to talk about himself during a moment's notice, that's going to put him in a distraction mode. Roger's kind of full of himself. He likes talking about himself. He likes to feel on himself. He's that kind of guy. Now, because of that, I think Haley could easily sneak attack him out of nowhere. She could easily get close enough to make him think that, oh, she's admiring his hands or something like that, and then just punch him in the face and then toss him out. Regardless of how direction, up close or far away, I do believe that Haley could secretly or be able to distract him enough to kick him out of the island, therefore being the Outlaster. Anyways, what do you guys think? Do you agree or disagree? Whatever you guys feel like it, just leave it down in the comment section below. Just be civil. And as always, No Press Fam, we really appreciate you guys. Catch you guys later. Peace.